Right, the game's former nemesis in G Unit, former soldier 40 Glock surrenders to do a 3-year bid. Now, if you haven't been following this story, 40 Glock pretty much turned himself into the Blue Earth County Jail all the way in Minnesota, where he'll be doing, almost 3 years behind bars because he pleaded guilty to, get this, a felony count of promoting prostitution of an individual, and that's according to court documents. Now, once he's done in jail, 40 Glock will be on 10 years supervised release. And if you get in trouble in that time when you're on supervised release, you could go back and have to finish out the remainder of that sentence or whatever the judge sees fit. Now, at the time, he can't possess a firearm. He has to get a GED, and he will be subject to random alcohol and drug tests. Not a lot of other details about the story, but I grew up around, and I'm sure you do, dudes who do their thing with the whole thing with the women and all that, and he pleaded guilty to it. I mean, what can you say about it? I mean, I'm not here to judge a man. I'm not saying I condone it, but I'm not here to judge him. But I do know that he will be behind bars for at least 3 years on this deal. Now, what's great about it is they were trying to pretty much charge him for a higher offense, which they dropped it, and he could have been doing way more time. So he struck a sweet deal with the prosecution that allowed him to go to prison for nearly 3 years and then come out and do 10 years supervised release. Now, a lot of you guys probably weren't introduced through 40 Glock, to 40 Glock, I should say, through G Unit. I was actually introduced to 40 Glock videos of him running away from the game and him in the game going back and forth to a little squabble back in the day. So yeah, man, 40 Glock surrendered to authorities. He will have to do 3 years in prison. And hey, let me know what you think in the comment section. Pimping ain't easy, I guess. That's just a joke, man. Don't get mad at me. But yeah, man, 40 Glock doing 3 years in jail. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Your boy, Oh God, Hip Hop News Uncensored. Smash the like button. Make sure you share this video. Also, if you didn't subscribe to the channel, take the time to do it real quick. Hit the red button that says subscribe. Right after you do that, right? I'll give you a second to do it. Hit the notification bell that's lit up and select the option that says get all notifications from this channel. That's the only way you're going to get breaking news up to date as soon as it happens. As soon as I press publish on the video, something pops off, you will get that alert right down, a drop down alert on your phone, so you can also be in the know. Also, if you like listening to stuff while you're out working or driving, whatever you do, we got the audio podcast. When you see the interviews on here, you see the little clips. You have to go to the actual podcast, the audio podcast, to listen to our interviews in its entirety. It's a Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, whether you got iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, anywhere you listen to podcasts, type in the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, and you will find our podcast. And that way you will get the unadulterated, unedited, full version of every interview that we do. Sticky Fingers, Garrett Morris, anybody you want to name, man. Raven Simone. You can get those full interviews right there on the podcast. With that being said, man, y'all have a beautiful, beautiful night. Over and out. Peace.